totally what is it called? I'm gonna ruin the movie. What is that when you
ruin the movie?
You know, you give somebody
Spoiler?
the end of the movie. Spoiler alert! This is a complete racket. This is Byron and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 158 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
All right. We got a good couple of rackets and a marketeer this week.
I feel like you say that every time, though.
No, this is really good. I'm jumping right into the first one.
Go for it.
This is can't even believe Mr. Alex Craig wrote this article for the YPN section of the Realtor
you couldn't
Mag.
believe it so much that you actually went into his Zillow account to see how many deals he has done.
No.
And how many reviews.
Listen, Zillow is screwed up right now, so everybody knows that that's not a good indicator.
No, it's a horrible indicator.
And I'm certain that Alex Craig, 2 first names, by the way.
Yeah, and who is he with? Century 21?
Century 21 agent. I'm certain that you are a fine gentleman. This particular article that you wrote.
He's wearing suspenders. I feel like you have to be a fine gentleman.
Yes, he is a fine gentleman. This is not anything to do with Alex, but the content he wrote.
Of his article, yes.
All right. His article is Stop Building Your Own Real Estate Brand. You're wasting time and money.
Your time. And money.
Your money. Oh, boy. Okay, so what if everything you have been led to believe about building a real estate brand is wrong? At least wrong for you. Okay. All right. Less brand awareness. Your own real estate brand will never be able to achieve the brand awareness of your real estate broker, especially if they are part of national franchises like Keller Williams, Century 21, which is Alex's brand, or Coldwell Banker. This is so wrong for so many reasons. You're getting business as a real estate agent from your local community.
Right, I was going to say.
From the town that you live in or the surrounding towns or the county. If you want to sit desk duty and wait for Century 21 phone to ring,
not happening,
and get those 7 leads, not closings, a year, go ahead and do that, because that's basically what Alex is saying.
Pretty much.
That's terrible advice.
Well, he's also saying that it will cost you money, but really, I mean, use your cell. Luckily, we have cell phones. Like when I started in this business, I had a BlackBerry. Like there was no video. Like all you really got was your emails. I mean, this whole industry has gotten so far in the last 10 years. Like it would be silly for you not to be recording. Well, come on, snap some selfies. Like, put a house behind you.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't cost you a penny to do.
Since when did pressing the live button on Facebook cost you money?
Yeah.
Since when did using Reels on Instagram right now, which we're not doing any of?
No, we're really not.
Since when did pressing the play button for Reels and editing a little video on IG and putting up a reel cost you any money? Since when did writing an article on LinkedIn cost you any money? This isn't costing you money, and it's definitely not wasting your time. All of my good deals, not all, but a lot of my good deals. We've got a Zillow Flex contract. We've got different things coming in. But my business was built off of producing content on social media platforms. Well, that was my separator.
But it was also very much about, but that was building a brand. So much like you, I mean, I get calls because people know what I look like. They know my children. They know my family. They know my team. And before they even call, like, they feel as though they trust already.
I mean, so the independent agent gets their brand in front of people when they do anything, free or paid. For most agents, this is limited to Facebook and some direct mail. Wrong. Then he goes national brand. When you focus on the broker's brand, you get more exposure. Every time another agent in your office does marketing, they build the brand of the broker or themselves. They're building their brand. Listen, nobody is calling Century 21 or CB or KW and saying, I want to work with Keller. Unless they're like 90. You might get a 90-year-old to call and say, like, can I work with Mr. Keller Williams, please?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
They probably don't even realize that's a real person.
But nobody's calling and saying, can I work with the brand? People are engaging with an agent. And listen, now I get it. I think we're probably going to get into at some point here the fact, a little bit lower down the article, which we'll link up so you can format your own opinion. We'd love love for you to chime into the comments, your opinion on this article. But you need clients today. You absolutely need clients today. 3 out of 4 people are using Zillow. You need to figure out a way to tap into Zillow. You need to reach out to the team in your marketplace that has a Zillow Flex contract and work with them if you like their flow, if you like their vibe, if you like their culture, right? You need to figure out how to get yourself some Google leads, some online leads. You need leads in this business. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But while you're working those online leads where over 75% of buyers are living, you should be remarketing, retargeting to them with your brand.
Right.
You should be adding them on Facebook so that, to your point, Nicole, they see that you're a real person. They see you posting about your family. They see that you grew up here in Guilford, Connecticut.
Right.
That you own this area. Yeah. That you've done everything. You've eaten at all the shops. You've met all the people. You've graduated from high school. You are Guilford, Connecticut. You're a Guilford girl.
I am. That I can't
Weren't we talking about that the other day? Guilford girls?
We may have. Yeah. But I think what's also important here, though, is I don't think that anybody that's building their own personal brand is saying that they're going to outwork a Coldwell Banker's brand, or they're trying to out-brand Century 21.
No.
Because I do think
that would be a waste of money if you're trying to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're hiring production and thinking that, you're going to, yes, but I don't think anyone's really saying that. But I do agree with him in the sense that, yes, to leverage your personal brand, you do need the larger brand. Absolutely. Especially as a new agent and you have nothing. Use the Coldwell Banker listings and their open houses to again, help you build a brand.
Right. To amplify your brand. You compete against yourself. Okay, I could buy into that. I can buy into that, meaning don't focus on your competition in your town. You do compete against yourself, but you should do that in a way of building, again, your brand, something we've talked about forever. By introducing your own brand to the mix, we are just adding to the confusion and making the decision-making process more complex. First of all, Century 21 and Keller Williams and Cole Bain, I'm just any big box brokerage, they've done a poor job trying to compete against Zillow at their game instead of building their own brands. I don't believe, just because they've been around for a long time, that they have brands that resonate with the consumer. The consumer resonates right now with Zillow, okay? They're going to resonate with Zillow, and then what are they going to resonate with after that, especially if they live in a certain town? Somebody who's producing content about that town, who's maybe interviewing the local restaurant people, helping Nicole did with the gift card project here locally to help people that are in need. That's what people are going to resonate with, the local stuff that's happening in their town. And then he goes on to say it's more ethical. If you're a realtor, which most real estate agents are, then you agreed to do business in a certain code of ethics. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did. You agreed to do.
As a realtor, doesn't mean
you agreed to the code of ethics.
Right.
That doesn't mean you agreed to hiding in a closet and no one knowing your name, your brand, and who you are and how you can serve your community and live up to that code of ethics. We're really missing the boat here on this article. It's really off.
I'm actually a little surprised that Realtor Magazine even printed it.
Yeah.
But
you need clients today, and this is where I'm going to agree. You do. You need clients today. And you're going to need clients next year and 3 years from now. But guess what? If you've built a great brand in a decade from now, you're going to have built what's called I always say an annuity, a past client list that is associated with you on all of the social media platforms. That's reminded every single day of your brand.
Well, the last thing you want is someone to call and be like, hey, are you still in real estate? Shit, man, then I'm not doing my job.
But you're reminding them every single day because you're doing a great job branding yourself. And when they have a referral to pass off, you are so top of mind. You are the clear and obvious choice because you've built a great brand. Now, if you're just starting off, you're not going to build a brand in a day. You're not going to build a brand in a week. You shouldn't be spending money. You should be pressing the live button on Facebook, or as Tom Ferry says, the live button on Facebook, and going live probably every single day as you build that brand. And you should be investing in online leads. Those are the two things you should be doing. Investing in online leads, being around a team and an atmosphere that can coach you up on how to convert those better and add more value and live up to your code of ethics and serve the community, and building your brand next to that. And then he wraps this thing up. He does mention that he is part of Century 21 Looking Glass, which is in Lansing, Michigan. But I don't know.
But he's not branding
Alex,
himself.
Craig.
Well, he just did in this article, and he's got a picture and his name on there.
Yeah, whether this is the way you would brand yourself or not,
you have
definitely branded yourself as as someone that I definitely would like to know more, Alex. So reach out to me if you will.
Sure.
If you see this
That'll
video,
be a fun little discussion.
Chime into the comments. If you want to come on the show and kind of debate this, always happy to do that as well, Alex. But you've branded yourself in a way that I would advise most agents right now not listening to your advice. Racket number 2.
Second one.
Inman article. We'll link this up as we always do. 7 realities your buyers and sellers should prepare for in 2021. The real estate market boomed last year as more people sought out to get more space, amenities, and new jobs that required relocation. But what will 21 look like? Here's what will likely change or stay in the same year. We're going to go through the 7 of these and decide if these are a racket or not.
Okay.
Number 1, low inventory, high demand, multiple offers. Is that going to remain the same here in 21? That was the same in 20, right?
Yeah. What are they saying? They're saying that it's staying the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seller's market.
Seller's
100%.
market continue.
Everybody knows. Well, especially right now, too. I mean, historically, I feel like first quarter inventory is always low. The amount of buyers, though, I feel like this quarter is bananas.
Here in our MLS, and in the comments, love to hear about what's happening in your MLS. Here in our MLS, December had only 78 for the whole state of Connecticut, just over 7,800 single-family homes available. Just a year and a half ago, we had over 19,000. Last December, we had almost 13,000, almost double the amount of single-family homes we have available right now. And I feel like we have more buyers than ever.
Well,
right?
You have half the inventory, so that's probably why, too. But
Absolutely. All right, number 2, the market won't pay top dollar for overpriced or dated homes. It depends on the price range. So this is kind of a half a racket.
You think?
Yeah, because if it's outdated and
overpriced?
Well, if it's outdated and just a little bit overpriced, but it's closer to that median price point, or say it's under 300,000 in our price range,
okay.
it's gonna. So it is priced location dependent.
But if it's outdated and overpriced, I think so many people right now are testing this market. They're pushing the limits, and I think that you can, but I do think you have to stay realistic with it. I mean, there are definitely some properties on the market that have been on for years still.
Yeah. True.
Because they are outdated.
Those are those 7,800 homes we have.
Right. And they were probably on last year when we had 13,000. Yeah. So I think probably together I agree. I mean, you can certainly be outdated at the right price point, but to be outdated and overpriced is just not going to work.
The exception to all rules in real estate is what's the location and what's the price category it's in. So there could be some exceptions to that rule. Number 3, new investor opportunities are overpriced and outdated homes. So that would be what they're saying in number 2 is now a opportunity for an investor to say, okay, this is overpriced, this is outdated. Maybe I can come in here and score a deal because if it is overpriced and outdated, they're sitting on the market longer.
Potentially, but I do think I didn't read that paragraph, but I'm assuming what it's also saying though is that investors are going to probably be overpaying a little bit too.
Yeah, they're not usually inclined to take on a major overhaul. Maybe they've been frustrated with the market, and so you can come in there and maybe negotiate yourself a better deal if you are an investor. All right, number 4, transactions will become increasingly accelerated. I don't know. I think that the showing process is accelerated.
And it does state that. It says instead of showing 20 homes, you're literally having to pull the trigger quickly. But
the actual transaction with the banks,
well,
they've been talking about, and Zillow's been talking about this, like shortening the time frame of going under contract to closing, which on average can take for a normal conventional buyer about 45 days. Right. And a lot of lenders have been bullish that this is going to, some of the big banks especially, like we're going to be able to get into a place where we're having 2 weeks closings all the time. Like that's going to become normal. I have not seen that at scale as of yet.
No, but I do think what is maybe a positive outcome of 2020, and I guess I should say the pandemic more than just the year, mortgage companies are now able to do things more remotely. So, closings don't have to happen in person anymore. You don't have to have witnesses. So I do think that there are potentially going to be some things that can get accelerated due to the fact that there's a lot less hands-on now. A lot more, buyers are getting a little bit more savvier with doing things online. I mean, forever people have been so reluctant about being paperless. I'd like
to see more speed. And I think that starts with the process. If we can get the process down, more people can get in the market, more homes can go on the market. And to Zillow's big thing of like, we're going to double the amount of transactions. It's going to be this huge reshuffling and migration coming. If we get the process cut down, then we can do that.
Well, I think if you're also in a multiple offer situation, you're also going to be cutting your dates down, and you're going to be freaking moving your ass too in order for your offer to get accepted.
Number 5, lease back and post occupancy after closing. So speaking of flexibility, buyers who are able to offer sellers the ability to stay in their properties after closing for a specified period of time may have an advantage over buyers who are trying to time their closings with their move-in date.
You know, it's actually a very interesting strategy. I have a few homes on the top of my head I can think of that would work for.
A lot of buyers obviously want to get in the home ASAP.
Enough,
but if they're maybe they're like, hey, you know what? I can rough it out another 3 months at our parents' house, whatever the case may be. I'm going to buy the home, but I'm going to let you have that 3-month period. If there's 6 or 7 offers on the table,
it is a seller's market for sure.
It definitely puts them at the top of the list if that is, something that is interesting to the seller.
Very interesting. Okay. It's interesting to me.
Number 6, appraised values may become increasingly challenging. Okay. I would agree because the market keeps going up. It went up here in our state. Be curious in the comments how high the market appreciated in your market. But we were up over 15% for single family homes here in Connecticut for appreciation value. So I just red buttoned our Zillow rep.
You did.
That was Zillow Group calling me. That was definitely our Zillow rep. I just red buttoned him. Sorry, Mike. I'm hoping you're watching The Real Word. I did not mean to do that. I will be calling you immediately after the recording of this show. All right,
and you red buttoned it. Couldn't you just let it ring?
No.
Was it bothering you?
Well, I want to let him know that, hey, I was shooting the show. I red buttoned you for a reason. I wasn't like ignoring you. I saw it come through. Mm-hmm. You got to like really smooch up to your Zillow
That's
rep.
why I put my phone away, and then I don't even know that I am missing anything.
Number 7, overcrowded and overvalued markets. Overcrowded and everyone has been on the move to certain geographic locations over the last few years. Some states like Florida started seeing a run-up of new residents, particularly after the tax reform legislation of 2018. So these places are going to become more crowded and start to become overvalued because people are rushing to places like Florida, Tennessee, for example.
It's interesting though, because it's like the last one is talking about the fact that appraisals are going to be more difficult. So I feel like appraisals will sort of keep values quasi in check.
You would hope,
unless you're just getting a flurry of cash buyers that are driving up the.
Yeah, and that's what happened here. We went up 15% in 1 year. We had a lot of cash buyers, and we didn't really have a lot of appraisal issues. So and we saw people, by the way, that their homes went under appraised and said, I'm moving forward anyways. I got the cash to make up the difference.
I mean, in all honesty, I saw that on so many deals. Like, if you even listing agents were like, hey, if it does, like, do they have the cash to make up for it? So, okay.
All right. Marketeer of the week.
That was good.
Yeah, we'll link it up. Love your opinions in the comments. Marketeer of the week. Tommy Hilfiger sells his Connecticut home for a price tag of $45 million.
Of leaving.
He is. He's leaving. He's out of Connecticut. This is a Greenwich home, and it was bought in 2010 for $31.4 million. Tommy Hilfiger. I mean, were you in middle school rocking Tommy Hill? Because I definitely was.
Well, Tommy Hilfiger was a little different back then, wasn't it? Than it is now?
Not for us JC boys.
I feel like it was like block colors.
Yeah, it was. Block colors, and I definitely appreciated Tommy Hill.
I feel like
I didn't grow up in a rich shoreline town, so we were rocking Tommy Hill back in the day.
Yeah, did you do like the whole like crisscross thing too? Like you wore it all backwards?
I didn't do that, but I knew some guys that did. But yeah, Tommy Hill boxers, definitely the button downs. I was into Tommy Hill back in the day. Did you have like the robe and all? No, I never I had a robe.
You're not a robe guy?
Not a robe guy. No, not a robe guy. All right, there's some fascinating pictures. We're going to pop those up if you're watching on YouTube so you can, flick through with us here. And, what's very interesting? This is why it's the Marketeer of the Week. This is such brilliant PR move by Tommy Hilfiger's first wife, Susie Hilfiger. She listed her nearby home in Greenwich just like a week after he sold this home for $45 million. She's asking $40 million. So she's pricing it under value of where Tommy sold his a week at. So this is on Architectural Digest. It's in like every single news publication that Tommy
Brilliant.
Hilfiger sold his house.
She's also getting a shit ton more money. What did she get? What'd she buy for?
Yeah, they
4
paid
million?
$8.5 million for it in '95. So she's got a bigger margin. He got more money, but she's got the bigger margin, obviously. But she's riding all of this PR wave because now every article is mentioning that Susie Hilfiger is listing her
but
nearby
what's
home.
brilliant though is if you just Google Hilfiger though, like now her house will pull up because again, like she's totally
tied to it.
riding it. I love it.
But check out that article. You can check out the photos. It's an amazing Greenwich estate. But yes,
beautiful.
You referenced the migration study. We talked about that in episode 156. Go back one episode. Make sure you check that out.
I don't think Tommy was spending much time here in Connecticut. I see him boating with the Kardashians over there in Cali. So I don't think this was like primary residence.
And Connecticut's in the top 5 outbound states, unfortunately, because of folks like Tommy. What's more depressing is that, and if you go to howmoneywalks.com, you can see the wealth leaving these outbound states. So New Jersey, New York, we're number 1, number 2. You can go back and check out the whole top 5. Connecticut was number 4.
Well, he
in the last
probably
one,
thought now is the time to get the 45 mil.
But the wealth is leaving.
Yeah.
But somebody did come in and buy this
bought
up.
it, so someone's here.
But it could be a second home. I don't know.
All right. Again, I think it was a second. It had to have been a second home for him too.
Probably.
I can't
You're probably
imagine
right.
CT is like, that's my home.
Love your thoughts in the comments and would love it if you could subscribe to the Real Word channel. If you're enjoying this content, please subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Give us the thumbs up and share this content with somebody. Hit the bell and please share this content with somebody else in the industry who could get some value from it as well.
Wait, can we say a little thank you to, I want to give a little
love you want me to look him up?
Yeah. Just
let me look him up real quick.
Let's give him a little bit of love. Because he did.
Last episode.
He backed me. I feel like.
No, give the stories. They're not going to know what the hell you're talking about unless you give them the story.
So we were talking about underpricing homes in order to drive up the price. And I brought up the word Schweppy. So I got into the business in 2010, and it was not a fabulous market. And everyone was talking about, like back in the day, we used to Schweppy homes. We used to like Schweppy them.
Yeah, Schweppy.
So and he swore. Byron swears. He's like, you're making it up. It's not true. But it is a real.
It did seem like a made up word. It's not. It's a real word. Joe Cafaso says on a comment on YouTube, Nicole has the term Schwepping correct, but it's
Schwepping.
But there's a big but. Schwepping correct, but it's because of a different reason.
Well,
it's because of. Let me finish his comment here. You can't interrupt his comment.
I just feel
back around 2006-ish.
Right, makes sense.
The largest real estate company in Connecticut brought a trainer, Jay Schweppie. It must be our brokerage, William Ravis, because that is the biggest real estate company in Connecticut. I'm going to ask. Is that what he's talking about? Brought in a trainer, Jay Schweppie, in to teach their agents how to underprice the market in order to get more money. So it is probably a very recognizable term. But yes, Nicole, you are right. It is a thing. So Joe,
I can't even believe those words came out of your mouth.
Way to make it feel good. And
I was right.
I sent her the comment right away.
He still doesn't believe that I'm right.
All right.
He's like, I don't think he's really, but I'm going to give him some love.
No,
so.
definitely.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you here next week on The Real Word. Keep it real.
See ya.